Pranam everyone. In our effort to understand the National Curriculum Framework for Foundational Stage, we will be going through Chapter 1 of this document, which is Preamble and Introduction. We'll be going through only Section 1.1 today, and then we'll be covering the other sections as we move forward. So the first chapter, Preamble and Introduction, it sets the basis for the NCF for the foundational stage. Actually, it outlines the criticality of early childhood care and education, its rootedness in Indian traditions, contemporary research that underlines its importance to life, the centrality of play in these years, and the crucial role played by families and communities at this time. And this chapter also lays out the vision and core principles that guide this NCF. So let's start section 1.1. Section 1.1.1 Early Childhood Care and Education. The first 8 years of a child's life are truly crucial and lay the foundation for lifelong well-being and overall growth and development across all dimensions: physical, cognitive, and socio-emotional. Indeed, the pace of brain development in these years is more rapid than at any other stage of a person's life. Research from neuroscience informs us that over 85% of an individual's brain development occurs by the age of 6, indicating the critical importance of appropriate care and stimulation in a child's early years to promote sustained and healthy brain development and growth. The most current research also demonstrates that children under the age of 8 tend not to follow linear age-based educational trajectories. It is only at about the age of 8 that children begin to converge in their learning trajectories. Even after the age of 8, non-linearity and varied pace continue to be inherent characteristics of learning and development. However, up to the age of 8, the differences are so varied that it is effective to view the age of 8 on average as a transition point from one stage of learning to another. In particular, it is only at about the age of 8 that children begin to adapt to more structured learning. Early childhood care and education, that is ECCE, is thus generally defined as the care and education of children from birth to 8 years. Section 1.1.2 Foundational Stage. First, we'll talk about the education a child gets at home between the ages 0 to 3. Up to 3 years of age, the environment in which most children grow up is in the home with families, while some children do go to crutches. After the age of 3, a large proportion of children spend significant time in institutional settings such as Anganwadis and preschools. Providing high-quality preschool education in an organized setting for children above 3 years of age is one of the key priorities of NEP 2020. Up to age 3, the home environment is and should remain almost the sole provider of adequate nutrition, good health practices, responsive care, safety and protection, and stimulation for early childhood learning, that is, everything that constitutes and forms the basis for ECCE. After the age of 3, these components of nutrition, health, care, safety, and stimulation must continue at home and must also be ensured in an appropriate and complementary manner in institutional settings such as Anganwadis and preschools. Appropriate ECCE at home for children under the age of 3 includes not only health, safety, and nutrition, but also crucially includes cognitive and emotional care and stimulation of the infant through talking, playing, moving, listening to music and sounds, and stimulating all the other senses, particularly sight and touch, so that at the end of 3 years, optimal developmental outcomes are attained in various development domains, including physical and motor, social emotional, cognitive, communication, early language, and emergent literacy and numeracy. It must be noted that these domains are overlapping and indeed deeply interdependent. The guidelines and practices to enable high quality ECCE at home for the age group of 0 to 3 would be developed and disseminated by the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Now let's go to institutional settings where the kids come from ages 3 to 8. During the ages of 3 to 8, appropriate and high quality ECCE provided in institutional environments must be available to all children. In India, where available, this is typically carried out as follows. 3 to 6 years, early childhood education programs in Anganwadis, Balvatikas or preschools, and from 6 to 8 years, early primary education programs in school, which are grades 1 and 2. From 3 to 8 years of age, ECCE includes continued attention to health, safety, care, and nutrition, but also, crucially, self-help skills, motor skills, hygiene, the handling of separation anxiety, physical development through movement and exercise, expressing and communicating thoughts and feelings to parents and others, being comfortable around one's peers, sitting for longer periods of time in order to work on and complete a task, ethical development, and forming all-round good habits. Supervised play-based education in groups and individually is particularly important during this age range to nurture and develop the child's innate abilities and capacities of curiosity, creativity, critical thinking, cooperation, teamwork, social interaction, empathy, compassion, inclusiveness, communication, cultural appreciation, playfulness, awareness of the immediate environment, as well as the ability to successfully and respectfully interact with teachers, fellow students, and others. Now, moving forward, let's talk about the importance of literacy and numeracy. ECCE during these years also entails the development of early literacy and numeracy, including learning about the alphabet, languages, numbers, counting, colors, shapes, drawing, painting, indoor and outdoor play, puzzles, and logical thinking, art, craft, music, and movement. The aim is to build on the developmental outcomes in the domains mentioned up, combined with a focus on early literacy, numeracy, and awareness of one's environment. This becomes particularly important during the age range of 6 to 8, forming the basis for achievement of foundational literacy and numeracy. The importance of FLN to overall education is well understood and fully emphasized in NEP 2020. Moving forward, let's see National Curriculum Framework for the foundational stage. So considering all of the above, NEP 2020 has articulated the age range of 3 to 8 as the foundational stage in the new 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 system. This National Curriculum Framework aims to address the foundational stage in institutional settings within the overall context of ECCE. While this NCF has an institutional focus, the importance of the home environment cannot be overemphasized, including family, extended family, neighbors, and others in the close community, all of whom have a very significant impact on the child, particularly in this age range. Hence, this NCF will deal with the role of parents and communities in enabling and enhancing the developmental outcomes that are sought during this stage. It will not, however, deal in detail with aspects of ECCE for ages prior to 3 years, which is entirely outside institutional settings. Now let's see the NEP 2020 goal. Due to the critical importance of the foundational stage for the development of an individual and for the long-term benefit to society as a whole, NEP 2020 articulates a clear goal that every child in the age range of 3 to 8 years must have access to free, safe, high quality, developmentally appropriate ECCE by the year 2025. Regardless of the circumstances of birth or background, quality ECCE enables children to participate and flourish in the educational system throughout their lives. ECCE is thus perhaps one of the greatest and most powerful equalizers. High quality ECCE in the foundational stage gives the best chance for all children to grow into good, ethical, thoughtful, creative, empathetic, and productive human beings. For the overall well-being and prosperity of our country, all members of our society, from teachers to school functionaries to parents and community members to policymakers and administrators, must come together to ensure that every child is provided this all-important physical, cognitive, and socio-emotional stimulation along with appropriate and adequate nutrition in these earliest and most critical years of life. Now, we are moving forward to section 1.1.3, which is Rationale for Early Childhood Care and Education. Research from across the world on education, neuroscience, and economics demonstrates clearly that ensuring free, accessible, high-quality ECCE is perhaps the very best investment that any country can make for its future. As mentioned earlier, brain development is most rapid in the first 8 years of a child's life, indicating the critical importance of cognitive and socio-emotional stimulation in the early years. Children naturally take to play-based activity in the early years. Children exposed to age-appropriate physical, educational, and social activities through play-based methods learn better and grow better. When the quality of stimulation, support, and nurture is lacking, there can be detrimental effects on overall development. The period of early childhood lays the foundation for lifelong learning and development and is a key determinant of the quality of adult life. Learning delays can be greatly reduced with the help of intervention in the early years. Efforts to improve early childhood development are thus an investment, not a cost. Investing in quality early education helps to promote long-term economic growth of the nation while also helping to target the development of the health, cognitive skills, and character necessary for the future success of the individual. So, in conclusion, for all these reasons, from brain development to school preparedness, improved learning outcomes, equality and justice, employability, and the prosperity and economic growth of the country, India must invest in accessible and quality ECCE for all children with proper oversight and light regulation to ensure high quality, developmentally appropriate stimulation for all children. So, dear listeners, here the section 1.1 finishes. I hope you understood it well. So, it's time to say bye-bye now and we'll meet again with section 1.2 of chapter 1 of Ncf Fs. Pranam.